Their third quarter 2024 update, $3,000 an ounce is in sight. The gold has rallied 35% over the year to date to trade around 27.80 an ounce. At present, the rally over the course of this year cannot be explained by traditional frameworks for gold pricing, such as real rates and currencies, with the former model, their old model, breaking down spectacularly over the past 2 years. They just come right out and say it. Gold prices have re-rated higher over the past 3 to 4 months.
Welcome to the Morning Markets and Metals with Vince Lanci, where each morning Vince brings you the financial and precious metals news to get you ready for your day. And now, here's Vince.
Good morning, everyone. It's Monday. I'm Vince Lanci, and this is the Market Rundown. Today, we'll be going through some pre-election scorecards to try and settle in before the big day, big night, depending on how you look at it, and a couple reports to that effect. Let's start with the markets. The dollar is down 68 at 103.63. 10-year yields are 428, down 10, significant. The S&P 500 is 57.33, up almost 4. The VIX is 22.48, up 66. Gold is 27.40, up $4 and change. Silver is 32.79, up 35 cents. Very nice. Copper is 4.39, up 6 cents. Also very nice, up more than silver, percentage-wise. WTI is up $2.19 at $72.05. Very strong. Natural gas is up 229, offered unchanged essentially. Bitcoin, after getting hit last couple of days, is 68,800, pretty much unchanged. Ethereum is 24.71, up 16. Palladium is up 8 and change at 11.05, and platinum is 9.99, up 5 and change. And grains, I think, are up about a percentage each. Let's see. Soy 10.08, up 1.1%. Corn 4.12, up 0.9%, and wheat 5.85, up 5 cents or 89 basis points. Okay, so there's a preview of the charts that we're going to discuss today. That's silver's weekly and gold's weekly. And we're going to come back to those charts. But the purpose of these lines, we're going to try and we're going to model the psychology of the market with 3 lines. Give you an idea of how the market is aware, how long it takes for the market to be aware of what's really going on. All right, before we do that little experiment, pre-election scorecards. All right, first page, homepage. Hartnett's crowded trades election matrix that came out over the weekend. That is what it sounds like. One of the crowded trades is short bonds. One of the crowded trades is long gold. He's saying that they could unwind after the election. They might not. But there's a lot of people plowing into ideas headed into the election. Tier 1 assets and manipulation, part 1. Part 2, probably next week with the election going on. And don't be an exit strategy for whales. A lot other stories out as well. We did the weekend report on the Commitment of Traders report, and that'll be coming out later today. But the quick preview is going into the election. The bullion banks are covering when the market drops, which is normal, but they're covering when the market rallies too. So the bullion banks are de-risking all the time now. And last week was a big de-risking week for everyone else. So smaller funds actually put positions on, betting, gambling on the roulette wheel, put it all in black, that type of thing. And the bigger funds are peeling risk off. So this is exactly what we thought it would be. Okay. What's going to happen, though, we don't know. We have a couple things to share with you today on various topics. The first one is JP Morgan has a group within the bank called the Alpha Team, and the Alpha Team has these really nice organizational grids or matrices for their traders and their better clients, their bigger clients to use when dealing with events. And the JPM US Market Intelligence Election Update on November 3rd. We lucky enough to have a copy of it. It's for the Alpha Group, and they go through everything. We'll give you an idea of like if you're sitting in front of a TV watching it, this is like your bingo card. Okay, so let's start with the gold stuff. The election and gold. Debasement trades are likely to perform well under any administration, though could get further supercharged under a Republican sweep. We agree. Gold stands out as the commodity of choice for hedging the U.S. elections. Yes, that's the crowded trade aspect. While an election surprise could prompt a near-term correction, structurally bullish drivers for gold, like growing concern on complacency over the rise in fiscal debt, tariffs, and trade retaliations, as well as supportive Fed rates cycle, should benefit the metal. Okay, there's nothing I can disagree with there. It's all actually very good. The phrase while an election surprise could prompt a near-term correction, I think what they mean is, because this is coming out right now, they mean a surprise that if Trump were to not win. So it's a surprise if Harris wins at this point. Anyway, so the actual rest of the report, it's just really good. Topics discussed: what has changed between now and 2016, between now and 2020? What is the election night timeline? The swing states, the contended states, the risks. 10 themes to track for the 2024 U.S. election. People will be discussing that, when they're on TV, but it's also going to be helpful in terms of your investment selection after the election. Polling the presidential race, you can get that anywhere, but they have that in there. News articles you may find interesting with links to them. Trade ideas, those are getting very popular. I think Goldman has really owned that space with their baskets, but they have their own things in there, and it's well written too. Commodities, I just gave you an example of the gold section, equities, bonds, everything. Selected sector views, and plenty of visuals. So here's an example of some visuals. This is a very long table. I'm only giving you the top of it. This is what everything did in the world from the 2016 election. 1 day before, 3 days before, 10 days before, after this. So it goes through everything, right? So there's 2016, there's 2020 for comparison, what the election night timeline is, right? And policy issues. There's many graphs like that. I think it really is. It's an election night bingo card. That's how I look at it. Okay, and it's very good. BOA has their semi-monthly, is it bi-monthly? They have their report out on CTA flows, and heading into the U.S. election, CTAs are long equity, short bonds, long U.S. dollar, and long gold. Okay. In commodities, trend followers are expected to grow their small oil short and shrink copper longs on all projected paths. Gold longs remain elevated, with a stop loss coming in at a 2% decline. Trend followers look to be sellers of U.S. equities. U.S. TSY Treasury futures shorts continue growing. There's your crowded trade, right? CTAs are long gold. Where is that? Long gold and short treasuries, and they're always long equities. But this chart is an example of that. That red line looks kind of scary. Don't be too worried about it. Just that's the amount of selling, not how quickly they're going to sell. Moving on, Citi. We had mentioned this before. Citi has a new fundamental framework for gold investing, and their third quarter 2024 update, $3,000 an ounce is in sight. The gold has rallied 35% over the year to date to trade around $27.80 an ounce at present. The rally over the course of this year cannot be explained by traditional frameworks for gold pricing, such as real rates and currencies, with the former model, their old model, breaking down spectacularly over the past 2 years. They just come right out and say it. Gold prices have re-rated higher over the past 3 to 4 months. There's I have like 3 paragraphs from this report. I don't have the full report. This paragraph here, it says a lot if you know how to read in between the lines of bank reports. Okay. This is Citibank being honest, and they are usually very honest about these things. traditional models aren't working. And their own model broke down spectacularly over the past 2 years. 2 years ago, we were telling you about this. So banks, they probably know the same time we do, but they're not going to say it publicly until they're sure, right? They have a lot more to lose if they're wrong. Gold prices have re-rated higher. Here's the word. Here's the word. Re-rated. Synonym for re-rated: reset, repriced, recalibrated, revaluated. The gold price is resetting. Re-rated means it's going to have a higher base. Okay, so we have a couple paragraphs from that. That continues at the bottom as well. So those are the three things. News and analysis. Hartnett's crowded trade matrix. Judy Shelton, the dollar is once as good as gold. That's a story written up in China. She's doing a lot of interviews right now. Probably part of the book launch, but it's also the timing is perfect, right? Tier one assets and founders, butterflies as directional trades. We'll have that class out with the COT analysis later on today. Market news. There's plenty of market news over the weekend. I just want to draw your attention to two of them. Federal Reserve officials are expected to cut interest rates by 1/4 percentage point at their meeting Thursday because inflation has continued to make progress towards their 2% goal. The election is Tuesday, right? So rest assured that they're going to be paying attention. Everyone's going to be watching the election. Okay. So 25 basis points is their base case. Could they do more? They could, but it's not something you want to bet on. But just know that the election, any temporary measures, if they need to be done, will be done. NVIDIA is replacing Intel in the Dow Jones Industrial Average, a shakeup that reflects a massive change in the semiconductor industry. Yeah, it reflects a massive change in the Dow Jones Industrial Average to remain relevant. They put Sherwin-Williams in there as well. Anyway, job growth slowed sharply last month, indicating the Fed's going to be more comfortable lowering 25 basis points. And there's a lot of other things going on. Saudi Arabia. Let's go to the markets here for a second. Saudi Arabia said they're not going to increase production. They've delayed that plan. And so that's why gold, that's why oil has rallied. All right. Geopolitics, more peace talk, right? It's been going on for some time. It seems like everyone's trying to get on the same page to be scheduled to downtick the problem until after the election. So Iran Supreme Leader Khamenei said the U.S. and Israel should know they will undoubtedly receive a crushing response for what they do against Iran and the Resistance Front. And the U.S. warned Iran that it won't be able to restrain Israel. It's I don't mean to minimize it. It's a lot of threatening and posturing to say, we're not going to do anything unless you do something. But if you do, we're going to punish the shit out of you. And we're not going to do anything unless you say, but we're going to punish you. But we're planning to. So it's the violently neutral corners. And there's a lot more going on there. But North Korea and Russia continue to publicly state their ties. And India and China are burying the hatchet for now in the area Demchok and Depsang, which is a little bit east of Kashmir, contended area. India, China, Pakistan, that whole area there. Data on deck this week. Fed decision, which we just alluded to, that is on Thursday. Wednesday is the S&P final U.S. PMI, et cetera, et cetera. And there's the JPM, BOA, and Citibank. So we'll take a second here. The JPM is actually very good. They're all very good, but the JPM is, for the next 48 hours, the JPM report is where to be. Okay. Why are these lines there? Let's start with gold. Gold started to rally or started to have an upward slope here. That's your first slope. Steeper, steeper. Forget the yellow one there, this white one. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? That's the market slowly raising awareness of the need to buy gold, whether it's the election, whether it's BRICS, whether it's the continued debasement of our standard of living by weakening the dollar over time, whether it's increased deficit, doesn't matter. This is the buying starting. This is stage 2, stage 3, stage 4. Now, it doesn't have to be 4 stages. Now, try to remember this from here to here, that's 1. Right? From here to here, that's 2. Now watch, silver. Here to here, that's 1. Here to here, that's 2. Same slope. Only 3. 1, 2, 3 in silver. And that's because silver didn't pick up interest until March. Remember the Feb low in silver? And then March is when it picked up. Okay? What I'm trying to say is that the awareness is delayed. This is the smart money buying, right? And this is the less money buying. They could be smart, who knows? But gold gets the bid first, and then people start selling silver against the gold. And then eventually, every so often, this is step 1 and step 2. Step 1 for gold, step 2 for gold is higher, right? And silver, someone goes, oh, wait a minute. Silver's way too cheap. You guys skip step 2 here. And so, boom, silver escalates and ramps up. I just want to show you that this is awareness. This is the world's looking at gold. And then silver has to catch up, and it does. And that's how it always works in precious metals. Looking at this market board in general, the dollar is down. Why is gold only up 6? Well, if you're looking at it from a correlation point of view, this is election stuff. Correlations break down before the election. People aren't going, the dollar's weaker, buy gold. What they're saying is the dollar's weaker, sell dollars. The gold is down, sell gold. The gold is up, buy gold. They're all looking at individual, everything becomes an individual asset as you go to an election. Okay. WTI is the one that stands out the most. Oil is up because of the OPEC thing. All the commodities are up. Gold is the weakest of the metals, right? Well, that's because it's also the most crowded trade. Just be careful after this election. There's nothing you can do right now to influence the coin flip. It's a coin flip coming. Silver. Let's do the short-term market, short-term chart for silver. Yeah, I wouldn't be excited until it gets above 32.99. And if it gets above 32.99, 33 in spot, you're probably going to see some people go, oh, we don't want to be short silver going into the election, and they'll buy it. So that's your level for today. So above 32.50. Remember, that was a big area for me. Let's go to, I think it might be on a day. It might be able to see it on daily. Right, above 32.50, right? We're above it, but now people start looking at the smaller price areas. Okay, there's your trend line. That's a good trend line. Go with it. Election's coming up. Be careful.
Well, thanks for watching this morning's Markets and Metals with Vince Lanci. We sure appreciate you tuning in and starting your day with us here. Hope you enjoyed the show, and we'll see you again tomorrow. Please note that this video is not intended as legal licensed financial trading advice and is to be used for informational purposes only. Please contact your financial advisor before making any decisions, and thanks for watching.